Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So
Hi.
today I am back with my new content for my YouTube channel. And as you can see, it is not my usual content. I am extremely blessed. I think it's on my face. I'm extremely blessed that because today I have the privilege of sharing screen with three of my mentors. Everything that I've learned here are from these people who are there. So today we are going to have a panel discussion on questions that have been put forward to me by many of my viewers. And the topic today is how to improve your employability. That is, how do we make sure that we are more employable for our employers? So let me introduce you to our panelists today. I will start with, in no particular order, I'll start with uh, Professor UK Bandopadhyay. And so if you can just raise your hand, Professor UK Bandopadhyay. So a brief about him for those who do not know him. He has a unique experience, and by the way, I've got everything written down because these people, they are such connoisseurs in their field that I just couldn't remember everything. So he has a unique experience of dealing with people in both industry and academia. More than 30 years of experience in 6 industrial organizations, including 2 MNCs. Also 16 years with IISWBM, the first 10 years as the registrar, and then as head of PGDBM for 7 years. Apart from his normal HR and administrative functions, he was into recruitment and selection of people at various ranks, and he also took active interest in the employability of students. Also, not many would know, he also has written a book called Management of People that was inaugurated by none other than the Honorable Governor of West Bengal. Moving on to Professor Kunwar. Professor Kunwar is a high impact, down to earth human resource generalist with passion for learning and development. He is an educator and a senior counselor with over 36 years of progressive domestic and international experience from 3 different continents in human resource management, in senior leadership, and also he has been with IISWBM for 11 years. Offering high quality corporate training in soft skills, interviewing skills training, career guidance, counseling, and internship, final placement of students of all programs. He's a certified career counselor and a MBTI from Association of Psychological Type APT, Glenview, USA, as well as a certified program leader from Liu Alkim Associates, California, USA. These are just a few things that I'm mentioning about these people. Otherwise, the entire video is going to be about them. Last but not the least, Mr. Virendra Razdan. He is a seasoned leader in the hospitality industry, having risen up the ranks as a hospitality professional in a span of 32 years. He is an IHM graduate with specialized courses in management from Cornell University and IIM Ahmedabad. Mr. Razdan brings considerable experience and deep insights about industry, having worked with some of the biggest names in the hospitality industry. As a mentor, he has coached over 25 hotel teams, leading from the front, helping them discover their potential and revisit the industry benchmarks. Currently, he is one of the board of directors in InCode, and they are into developing, and they are domain experts and problem solvers of the industry. So here are my 3 brilliant panelists, and now I will put forward some questions that are there. So the first question is, do you really believe that the first impression is very important? So I will ask Mr. UKB sir to start the discussion.
Thank you very much, Rosmita, for organizing such a valuable program, particularly which is the crying need of today, to today's youth are required to be skilled for the employability. Of course, employment itself has become a very wanting things in today's society because of the criticality of so many factors. Now, even then, this is a very important matter that the question that you have raised, whether the first impression, of course it is, but it is not the last word.
Okay, sir. What does Professor Kunwar have to say about this?
Now, I said impression means that you mean to say that the presentation, the first introductory talk that the candidate should make on something like that, even the entering point from the door itself to the interviewer's room itself is definitely must be a very soothing, must be a very, I mean, it's a kind of it will create some interest in the candidate, of course. But I again repeat, the first impression is not the last impression.
Right.
Even it has been seen on number of occasions that though the presentation, the first impression could not be created properly, but during the conversation, but during the discussion, it is proved that the candidate is a really gem of a person. Might be there are certain.
What I would like to summarize there. So what you're trying to say is, even if you cannot make a first impression, just make sure that you leave an impression before you leave the interview room.
Exactly. Try to compensate your fallback during the course of the thing.
Okay. Mr. Razdan, you being in the hospitality industry, do you think the first 90 seconds, as we have all read in our management books, is the first 90 seconds that matter the most?
Now it has got improved upon its now first 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
First of all, it depends what kind of position you are hiring people for. If it is for a customer interface position, definitely first 30 seconds or first 90 seconds or first 1 minute does count. But if you are doing something which is more technical for an engineering position, for a scientific position, then the in-depth knowledge of that subject matters a lot. So maybe the person in the beginning is not able to impress, but over a period of time, through his content sharing, through his with his subject content, he can impress the interviewers. But it depends what kind of position you are hiring a person for.
Okay. Sir, Professor Kunwar, what is your take on creating an impression and leaving with
first impression?
Yeah.
First, you see, that gives you an opportunity to create an impact. And if you're able to create a positive impact in your first impression, 25 to 30% of the chances are there that you will get hired. So that's a very, very important point. You must create a positive impression.
So, well, gentlemen, since all of you, I am the only lady here. So gentlemen, would you agree that grooming yourself and dressing up properly and maintaining yourself and having that confidence before you walk into that interview room is extremely important? Professor Kunwar?
Absolutely.
UKB, sir?
Yeah, confidence is the key word for success. The person must believe in himself that I can do it and I must do it. With that sort of faith and confidence in mind, many obstacles could be overcome.
What do you have to say, Mr. Razdan?
I'm of this view, when you are facing an interview board, means you are selling yourself. Selling yourself means say you are selling your core competence, what you bring to the job, what you bring to the board, you are selling to them. And first part of selling is selling yourself through your physical appearance. So the grooming, the right attire, the right body language and right walk towards the table is very important in creating the first 30 seconds impression.
What do you feel? Are they really aware of the fact that it is really, or do you think that just because I have got a CGPA or an SGPA of 9 somewhere, it is my game? Do you think that misconception rides there, Professor?
I don't think they are aware of it. Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them are not definitely aware of it, and therefore they need to be trained. And what the area that where they have to work on is their self-management skills.
Yes. Professor Bandyopadhyay.
Yes, what Professor Kunwar is saying is almost correct, but at the same time, there are certain in the management institutions at the time of placement or before placement, it has been seen that there are certain students or the candidate, they become so much smart and expert that they are not required to do even. They can do it very jolly well. And so further skill, of course, it definitely offers more. But again, it all depends on the candidate's innate potential within.
Mr. Razdan, I'll take this question directly to you. Since you are catering to these people nowadays, trying to scale them up, how do you think that I will just talk to fresh graduates, since that is the area that your company is catering to right now. So how well do you think are these young people aware of this self development and this what they should bring to the table when they are coming for an interview? How well aware are they?
I must say now, because of this digital invasion and the kind of information which is available all over the country through different platforms, people are interested in grooming themselves and creating a personality which would make an impression whenever they go for jobs. That's why I have got one survey which was done by Mint last year, that employability of Indian graduates jumped to 47% in 2019 from 33% in 2014. So this has happened only because people have taken interest. In addition to their core skills, their hard skills, they have also worked on their soft skills. So that's quite a good news for the I would say Indian education industry. But yes, where we need to work upon is how do we A-League colleges, it is fine. The students from A-League colleges, you do a little bit of fine tuning. But it's the B and C, the colleges which are in the rural areas, which are in the towns, their students need hand holding because they are very good in their technicals, but when it comes to the soft skills, they have to start from ground zero.
So I'll come back to you again, Mr. Razdan, because you only said in the beginning that it depends on the position that you are being hired for. So if you're being from the smaller cities or from the towns, so do you think even there your soft skills should be improved upon?
It will be an additional benefit, but lot depends on what the interviewer is looking for. If he's looking for a person who's good in his core competence, he may hire him. But yes, if a person can just brush up their skills when it comes to soft skills, it will be an added advantage.
So all of you gentlemen would agree that brushing up on your soft skills and communication is a good idea. Am I right? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, Professor Kunwar.
You see, one of the things that when you are going to the business schools in the suburbs, smaller cities and all that, one area where they lack somewhat is the communication skills, and that is where the managements of those colleges need to focus on, because that is one area where they are not confident, and that confidence has to be built in them.
Professor Bandyopadhyay?
Yeah, Professor Kunwar and Mr. Razdan, all are correct. But one thing we have to keep it in mind that today's age is basically ATA, artificial intelligence age. And even we cannot undermine the students from villages or from the Mafsal areas. They are not very much aware of this thing because internet has gone up to the very lone corner of the villages also. But what I would suggest, this IT, apart from the IT skills that has become a must in the today's context for any sort of job whatsoever, excepting the absolute unskilled job for the most dudes or for laborers or something like that. Even then, that is also being coming up in the system improvement process in the manufacturing process.
With the particular headlines that is going around the city right now, especially in Kolkata,
Right.
80,000 applicants for 6 positions.
For the senior estimation work and all this sort of thing. Now, another thing, Rosmita, that is, the today's entire recruitment of selection, because you have oriented to the program to the Ds. We are basically, your title was how to develop the employability skill, but we have been already centering around the interview process. So that is one way departure from the original title or the theme of
We'll
discussion.
come back to that.
Yeah, that now, but even then, what I could say that for any sort of recruitment selection, excepting the scavengers or the sweeping category or other thing, we are knowing that all recruitments are nothing but knowledge workers recruitment or knowledge employee recruitment. So this has become the basic foundations of minimum eligibility of a candidate being appearing at the interview or test or written test or whatever. Okay, and Professor Kunwar has already raised this thing that I would suggest and also add only one thing for the look. I am jumping up onto your other area also, but again, I am not referring myself. That is what an extraordinary qualification why that is increasing or enhancing the value of a candidate has become most important nowadays. And for that matter, I would suggest at least a candidate should try for learning at least 2 foreign languages, which
Right.
enhances maximum employability.
By foreign language, sir, do you mean an Indian language or a foreign language as in?
I said foreign languages.
Okay.
Foreign languages. Because I have seen examples.
Okay.
The moment they want to complete one course and be called in.
Is that the reason behind your is that because of the globalization? Are you talking about?
It's a global village now.
Okay. Yes, Professor Kona.
You see, both the management of the institutes, whether you are in Kolkata or Delhi or Bombay or wherever you are, even a smaller city like Durgapur or Asansol, they need to be aware, both parties, the students as well as the management, they need to be aware. The 3 areas are very, very important for being selected in an interview. One is, first is your communication skills. Second is your domain knowledge. If you say that I am a marketing specialist, what is the knowledge in your marketing area? Take, for example, the recent case of pandemic closure, lockdown. It's almost 1.5 years that we are not socializing, we are not going out, we are not eating out, we are not traveling. So therefore, what is going to stand out in your marketing and sales program is your brand value. How well known is your brand? That is one factor. And the third factor that they have to develop on is the teamwork skills.
Right.
Because if you're not able to, if you're not trained in the area of teamwork, you are not going to be successful, whatever industry it may be. Your teamwork is very, very important for all kinds of situations.
Right. So wonderful takeaways for all our viewers from the first thing, from the first question itself. Second one is, what are the key qualities that you would look for in a candidate? I think Professor Konar has partly answered that question. I would take it up with Mr. Razdan.
There was a quality survey done across the globe among graduate recruiters all over the world, and following 10 areas have been, after taking them through group discussion and after working on their behavioral patterns. What are those behavioral patterns? Behavioral patterns is your emotional intelligence, your overall intelligence, your motivational intelligence, your experiential and learning intelligences, and so on and so forth. From those 10 points came that what they need while hiring a graduate recruiter. One is, 3 have been already mentioned by Professor Kunar. One is the domain expertise or the commercial awareness or the business equipment for the position he is being interviewed for. Communication skills are very important, and these days minimum 1 language, English, is important because that's the global language we all speak. A person has to exhibit teamwork because we all are, whether individually or will be responsible for the team or will be working for the team. Negotiation and persuasion skills are very important. Problem solving in case of any last minute, some kind of exigency comes, how the person is able to handle problem. Can a person, if not immediately, but does he have the intent to take into the leadership role? How organized he is? What kinds of perseverance and motivation does he possess? Because motivation is important. You cannot have every time a boss coming and telling you, listen, good job done. You have to be self-motivated. Ability to work under pressure And last but not the least, the confidence in performing whatever you are there for.
Well, Professor Bandopadhyay, would you like to add any other qualities?
Yeah, of course. I would only add 2 points. Number one, the confidence, not only the confidence, self-motivation within. That today if I fail, tomorrow I must click. That helpant attitude within oneself, right from the morning, have a positive attitude that whatever has gone yesterday, I am not believing in that and making a fresh attempt for the new. This, on number of occasions, help the candidate to sell through. Number one. Number two, the candidate definitely is must know the communication, his facial expression, his style, his pronunciation, his body language, everything is there. But one most important thing is that he must have the quality of articulating things. Whatever one is saying, whether he can articulate when some question is asked, so that articulating power is also equally important to convince the persons opposite to the table. Okay, and also another thing that is most important, Professor Kunwar will definitely agree that a candidate is required to distribute his site or views not to the questioner but to other fellows who are in the selection board, so that they are not neglected. They also feel that the candidate is doing justice and taking them into important, in giving them the due importance. That is one of the most important things, because sometimes a candidate only concentrate on the person who has questioned him or her. Otherwise, the other people.
So you're talking about maintaining eye contact with the entire panel.
Distribution of this thing, and also the another small factor, but it is very important, that he must be very much aware of that at the time of conversation he must not lean on the table, he must not put his hand out of excitement on the table.
Exactly.
These sort of things very much happen.
Some of the basic skills. Yes, Professor Kunwar.
See, motivation or demotivation, whatever you talk about, motivation and confidence will come from these factors. One is your communication skills, your ability to work in a team, and your domain knowledge, okay, and your problem solving skills. Once you're equipped with these things, motivation will automatically be there in you. All you need is your communication skills.
Okay, great takeaways from
You're
that.
you should be able to speak up, and
my viewers are extremely excited. So I personally know that all of you have been into hiring. Two of the people sitting here have hired me. Not going into those discussions, but in case, so I'm giving you a probable situation which happens all the time, I'm sure. Being in the HR, I guess all of you would know that. So if there are two very, very similar candidates, by very similar, I mean similar in academics, similar in their performance across the table and in the final interview. So what would be that one quality? And I would like to have a very short note on this. What would be that one quality, so that it goes sharp, razor sharp into my viewers? What would be that one quality that you would use as a tiebreaker in order to choose your candidate? I will start with Professor Kunwar.
The candidate's ability to work in a team, that will be very, very important to me.
Okay.
Because whatever department I put him, he has to work in a team. That is what I'm going to look at.
Okay.
If both of them are scored the same in teamwork area.
In one sentence, what is it?
I'm just coming in 5 minutes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, it is only one sentence, only one word. The candidate must have the growth potential.
Sorry, sir, could you repeat that again?
The candidate, out of the two candidates, which has got more growth potential?
Okay, potential to grow.
Oh,
what Mr. Razdan had taken up in the previous point. Okay, Mr. Razdan, that one tiebreaker.
On a lighter note, I will toss a coin. Or no, I will definitely go for a person who brings in more energy. From between two of them, definitely the energy levels are going to be at different levels. A person who brings in more energy has got potential to grow in future. I will take him.
Okay, I think basically all three of my panelists have used a similar thing and putting it in a different context altogether. So most candidates, because of the pandemic, are going through an increased amount of demotivation. And what most employers are complaining right now are that we cannot take in such demotivated people. So any word of advice for these people? I will start with Mr. Razdan.
I would say mentoring. One has to keep on mentoring them, keep on talking to them. And in case any
Mentoring,
mentor or
who are you? Who should be
whosoever are their close buddies, or everyone has got a boss subordinate relationship, whosoever has been their ex-boss with whom they had a good rapport. They should always keep on counseling them, talking to them, give them
What
examples
about
of
the fresh
failure.
graduates, sir? Fresh graduates.
Fresh graduates, I would say, there are colleges, there are institutions which are helping people to ride this time. This is a hard time because people have been unemployable for the last year and a half. So they should go for counseling sessions in their nearby areas. That's what I would suggest, because somehow counseling has never been given the due mandate in this country. We
Correct.
all need
Right.
counseling,
Professor
so they
Konar,
should go to
Professor
professional
Konar, your
counselors
take on
and
this.
take help.
To all the demotivated people out there who are not
Are
getting,
you asking me?
who are trying their best.
Are you asking me?
Yes, Professor Konar.
You see, one of the things which I think once they get selected, I think we need to have somebody from within the organization to be the mentor for that person. Handhold them for about 3 to 6 months, then leave them alone. But at the same time, please do not sit on their head
No,
and
sir.
all the time bossing them.
What I meant was these people are demotivated because they are not getting employed. So these are unemployed people that I'm talking about. So I'll come back to you, Professor Bandyopadhyay. What is your take on this?
You are wanting to know about the de-employed people.
The people who are not employed, and because they have not been employed, they are getting extremely demotivated, and that is again by default.
Okay, I get you. What Mr. Razdan has said, that counseling is definitely the main and ultimate thing. But again, I repeat once again, the candidate himself has to understand the no room of frustration in life at all, unless he comes out with self-motivation within. And if he takes this as a spirit within that I must overcome, I believe there is no man, even no counselor is also required. It is required his certain studies, certain readings, and then to come to own decision that I must win. I must.
Professor Konar, do you think that these self-help books that are available, or these self-help tutorials that are available online, they can really take out a person, bring out the best in that person, and bring out that person from the demotivated stage into a place where he is ready to even face the interview?
See, I'm not a fan of such kind of books. Yes, except for 1 or 2 books they can lay their hands on to. But what is important is that their openness to accepting a job which the college has approved, and for example, they may be sitting with an idea that I need a minimum salary of 7 lakhs, right? And you get an offer of 5.5 lakhs, then you are hesitant. And that is where he needs to take the chance.
Openness is what
he needs to understand that.
You are talking about. Openness. Professor Bandyopadhyay, I would ask you, what is the a tip or a trick that you have to share with my viewers so that they can improve their employability? So I will start with Professor Konar.
You see, one, as you enter the interview room, you must give an impression that, for example, you go in and they don't tell you to sit. If I were in that place, I will not sit.
Right, sir.
I'll wait for some moments, maybe about 40, 50 seconds. If nobody says, please sit down, then I will say, may I sit down, sir, with your permission?
Okay. Right, sir. Right.
That is one area where the students normally, they just go and take the chair and sit down.
Right, sir.
Wait for some moments, maybe about 30 seconds or 40 seconds. After that, if you are not offered a seat, then you ask, may I sit down, sir? That's it.
Yes. Yes, Professor Bandyopadhyay.
Yeah, look, there are 2, 3 occasions, situations that arise within the room itself. Number one, it's a very normal phenomena that recruiters or the selectors ask, please say something about yourself.
I was just coming to that question. What is that
Now, this
perfect
is all
answer?
rubbish. Now, this is all rubbish because some people will start from the date of birth. Okay. So,
Or my name is.
the candidate must have the courage to say, sir, everything has been written in my biodata. It must be with you. Apart from that, what we have not expressed in that biodata, I am telling you, sir. So this is a kind of.
Would you agree with that? It is not a good idea to by saying that I am so and so. And
Sorry?
would
No,
you
not
agree?
agree.
Would you
Not
agree
agree.
with the
It
fact?
has to be, Rasmita, it has to be told in a very benign tone.
Right, right. But most of our students, most of our interviewers, they start with, because usually the first question is, tell me something about yourself. That is the first question.
Okay.
So, and they usually start with, my name is Roshmita Bhattacharjee and I am so and so and I'm coming from so. Do you think that is required?
That has got nothing. But again, one thing I forgot to tell you is that this telling that everything is in the biodata is an art. So the approach should be like that. Sir, apart from whatever has been given in my biodata, I am adding these are the things. That will simply give an indication to the members that okay, the boy is smart, quite smart.
Yeah. And I think it will also portray a little bit of your confidence, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And in fact, another point which Professor Kunwar do agree that on many occasions we have seen that sometimes the person on the other side of the table may be knowing less than you in your domain area. And also it is another trick that if you want to drag the interviewer to your domain, in that case, sometimes you leave the question answer slightly left over so that the following question comes, what next or what is that? So in that case, you drag him into your own strength and area where you can simply flourish.
Yes, Professor Kunwar.
You see, as a candidate, I am aware that they already have my CV or biodata, whatever you call it. Despite that, if somebody tells me that please say something about yourself, what I will do is I'll be very, very polite and I'll say, first I'll start off with good morning, sirs, and then I will cover my entire CV in just 2 or 3 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
Because I know that they have my CV. Despite that, they are asking me that question, please say something about yourself. So therefore, I'm not going to say that it's already there in the CV. I will simply just summarize my CV in just a couple of sentences. That's it.
Okay. A couple of sentences, says Professor Kunwar. Professor Bandyopadhyay says nothing at all. Just go dive in. I will tell you, like what Professor Bandyopadhyay had said, draw the person into your domain, whereas what the interviewer would always try to do is throw you off your domain. So you should be aware of it.
No, one interesting small example I am giving you. I was selected in one of the management courses. There the Vivabosi was the final Vivabosi before exam clearance was there. So I was asked such a typical question on amendment on law, which was very recent. And the person concerned was nothing less than Deputy Secretary Government of West Bengal, who was in charge of the entire amendment as such. He was there. So now he asked me, I thought I shall not be able to do it. Then I said, are you meaning this section deliberately to drag him to my area, which section I know better than many people. So he said, what is that? Immediately he responded, what is that? I started saying that. At the end of the things, Mr. Roy, I will now no more, he said, Bandyopadhyay, you have tried to deceive me. I got you. You wanted to drag my attention to that because you know that area. But again, I could get it. Anyway, I have given you the number.
So that is your problem solving skill, if I'm not mistaken. You have worked across the globe. Do you find students are any different? I mean, fresh graduates that we are talking about. They're any different from here and from the other countries?
Yes, it depends on the kind of college that you are going to, you're talking about. For example, you go to the top-notch colleges like IIMs and XLRIs and SP Jain and all that. There the students are more knowledgeable, they're more, they're more capable. They're more, their employability is of a high order. But when you go to the, smaller cities, or even, for example, say Asansol, Durgapur, Bishnupur, there are innumerable business engineering colleges and professional colleges. There, you should be prepared that I must be able to find out some talent from here. You must believe that there is talent available, and it's up to you to be able to find that talent. And the college authorities also must make efforts to prepare their students for their final interview.
It only goes on to show that employers are not here not to hire you. And if I may think so, because the two people sitting with me today, they have been on the other side of the table. In fact, I know what Professor Kunwar is going to say. They are there to hire you. Isn't it, sir?
Yes, yes. But one last tip that I would like to, share with you for the students is that please ask them to develop a reading habit.
Yeah, agree. Absolutely.
They don't normally go beyond the domain books.
Even whatever you get before you read.
A reading habit is going to help you tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we got a lot of tips and a lot of tricks to improve upon so that our employability improves. I hope that this session was as helpful for me as it was for you. And these are the connoisseurs. Yes, sir.
No, I same here with me. I benefited a lot from the meeting.
So I hope my viewers have benefited, and I have been able to answer some of the questions that have been put forward. I will try and arrange some time from these people again in the future, hoping them that they could spare some more time, because the questions keep piling up and there are so many questions. And more importantly, next time maybe I would have some of my viewers who would like to join and have a one-on-one interaction, if you people would be ready to do that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. My heartfelt regards to all of you. I am so indebted to you, not just today. I will be indebted to you for my entire life, because whatever little that I am today is because of a lot of contribution, especially I would like to say that to Mr. Bandyopadhyay. And from Professor Kunwar, I have learned a little bit of the entire process of how to go about recruiting or making your students hireable to other people. So thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much for your time. And in case my viewers want a second session, I would request you on their behalf, please do find out some time, because these students, they are really helpless. They really need some guidance, and I couldn't find anybody better than you.
Thank you very much, Rosmita, for organizing such a nice
program. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Keep on doing this thing. At least I, myself and Professor Kunwar will be available definitely to help you out, and at the same time to help the people around us. So it is our noble and onerous responsibility also. Whatever little bit of experience.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much once again for organizing such a beautiful and learning program.
Thank you, Professor Kunwar. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Professor Bandyopadhyay. Thank you so much for your time. So viewers, this was my mentors. All that I am today is because of them. And I hope you listen, do not just view this, listen to this, this particular content that I will be putting up on my video. Listen to it, There has been a lot said between the lines. Please listen to it careful. And as usual, I will be ready to take up any questions from your end. Thank you very much. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.